What if I told you that feeling like life is pointless might actually be the beginning of something beautiful? That the emptiness you feel, the hollowness in your chest, is not a sign of failure, but a hidden invitation. An invitation to stop pretending, to stop running, and to finally start listening. Because almost everyone, yes, even the strongest people you know, reaches a point where they look around and wonder, what's the point of all this? The job, the endless to-do lists, the conversations that feel fake, the goals that once mattered but no longer move you. You wake up tired, not because you didn't sleep enough, but because your soul is exhausted. You perform, you function, but you don't feel alive. And that, right there, is where many people stop. They sink into distraction, addiction, or despair. But what if that feeling of pointlessness isn't the end, but a compass? What if it's the beginning of a deeper search for meaning, for truth, for yourself? This feeling you're experiencing isn't rare. It's more common than you think. In fact, it's a universal part of being human. Philosophers have called it the absurd. Psychologists name it an existential crisis. In modern times, we tend to label it burnout, depression, or disconnection. But regardless of the label, the root is the same: the sense that life no longer carries significance, that your actions are detached from purpose, that you're floating through existence, numb and uncertain. You're not alone. You are walking a path that countless others have walked before you, including some of the greatest minds and most resilient hearts in history. The French philosopher Albert Camus once wrote, "There is but one truly serious philosophical problem, and that is suicide." Now, this sounds dark, and it is, but not because Camus glorified despair. He simply acknowledged how powerful and painful the question of meaning can be. When you no longer see purpose in living, you're not dealing with a shallow issue. You are facing one of the deepest and most profound challenges life can offer: the battle for meaning in a world that doesn't always give it freely. And it's in that moment, when everything feels pointless, that you are invited to go deeper, not into more distraction, but into truth. So why does life lose meaning? For many, it's because we've spent so long chasing things that don't nourish us. We've lived by someone else's script. We've achieved what society told us to achieve: degrees, careers, relationships, followers, but found that none of it fills the void. And the scariest moment is when you realize you've built a life that looks successful on the outside, but feels completely hollow inside. Maybe you've been performing for so long, you don't even know who you are anymore. Maybe you've learned to smile and say you're fine when, in reality, you feel invisible. We were taught how to succeed, how to conform, how to impress, but not how to be real. Not how to connect, not how to ask, what do I truly value? And when you don't ask that question, your life begins to drift away from authenticity and toward quiet despair. Psychologist Viktor Frankl, who survived the horrors of a Nazi concentration camp, said this: "When a person can't find a deep sense of meaning, they distract themselves with pleasure." And isn't that what most of us do? We scroll, we binge, we work harder, we chase status, we chase moments of happiness hoping they'll finally add up to purpose. But meaning is not something that happens to you. It's something you create. And ironically, that creation often begins in the darkest moments, when you've been stripped of illusions, when the noise dies down, and you're forced to ask, what truly matters to me now? Here's the most powerful truth I can offer you. When everything feels pointless, you are standing at the doorway of meaning. because only when the old meanings die can the real ones be born. In a strange way, emptiness can be a blessing. It clears space. It removes the clutter of fake purpose. It shows you what isn't working. It reveals the cracks in the foundation. And from that place, you can begin to build something new, not based on what others want from you, but on what you actually need for yourself. Frankl wrote in his book, Man's Search for Meaning, "Life is never made unbearable by circumstances, but only by lack of meaning and purpose." Read that again. It's not your situation that's unbearable. It's the disconnection from meaning. People have survived unspeakable suffering with hope, with clarity, with fire in their soul. And others, surrounded by comfort and luxury, have fallen into despair. The difference isn't what you have, it's what you live for. So how do we begin to find meaning again when everything feels empty? Start with your pain. Yes, your pain. Don't run from it. Don't numb it. Sit with it. Ask it what it's trying to show you. Often, the deepest meaning is born in the very place we hurt most. Your story, your wounds, are not a liability. They are the birthplace of your wisdom. They are your soul calling you home. As Rumi once said, the wound is the place where the light enters you. Second, begin creating before you consume. You were not made to endlessly scroll through other people's lives. You were made to build something, to leave a fingerprint on the world. Maybe it's not art or business. Maybe it's kindness. Maybe it's healing. Maybe it's honesty. When you create something from your inner truth, no matter how small, you step into your humanity. You create meaning. And the more you create, the more you become. As Maya Angelou said, you can't use up creativity. The more you use, the more you have. Next, connect deeply, not widely. It doesn't matter if you have 100,000 followers if you can't be real with a single one of them. Find someone you can open up to, someone who sees you, someone who hears the words you don't say. Meaning grows in the soil of connection. You are not meant to carry your silence alone. And perhaps most importantly, serve something bigger than yourself. Meaning isn't found in ego. It's found in contribution. Help someone. Uplift someone. Teach, share, listen. In helping others, you begin to heal parts of yourself you didn't know were broken. In lifting someone else, you begin to rise too. You can also begin writing your own mission statement, not for the world, but for you. Something simple, honest, like, I want to use my pain to help others feel less alone, or I want to bring peace where there is conflict. When you wake up with a mission, even the smallest task becomes meaningful. Life stops being a blur and starts becoming a message. Meaning can also be found in the stillness. Sometimes, when everything feels like it's falling apart, you don't need to do more. You need to stop. Just be. Breathe. Let the silence speak. Let your soul catch up with your body. Don't rush through the fog. Walk through it slowly. Trust that the road will reappear. You see, the most meaningful people in history didn't avoid darkness. They walked through it. Nelson Mandela spent 27 years in prison and emerged a healer. Malala Yousafzai was shot for seeking education and became a global leader. Viktor Frankl saw death and still believed in hope. The difference was never their circumstance. It was their choice to make suffering sacred, to turn pain into purpose. Nietzsche once said, "He who has a why to live can bear almost any how." So what's your why? You don't need to figure it all out today. You just need to start asking, start noticing, start listening. Because meaning isn't something you stumble upon, it's something you shape, moment by moment, choice by choice. And if today you feel like giving up, if everything still feels pointless, I want you to hear this clearly. You are not broken. You are awakening. This numbness is not a sign of weakness. It's a sign that your soul is craving something deeper, that you're ready to stop performing and start living, that you're done chasing illusions and are ready to build something real. That's not failure. That's transformation. Let me say it one more time. This is not the end. It's the beginning, a sacred one, because no matter how far you've drifted, meaning is always waiting for you to return. You are still here. And that means something. You still breathe. That means something. You still care. That means everything. So take that first step, not toward perfection, but toward presence, toward honesty, toward meaning, your meaning. As the poet Rainer Maria Rilke once said, let everything happen to you, beauty and terror. Just keep going. No feeling is final. And in the quiet moments, when the world feels heavy, remember this. You are not alone. You are not too late. And the best chapters of your life may still be unwritten.